Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
For me again, you can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the yellow correct you. Use the youth, the money, waste a must a man to statue. Say we like a cash you, but we got in a figure you. Take the spit of money, girl, and say that is not you. One day the man above me, look him, I got a bet. Too much eating at the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. My singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% raise.
It burn me.
Garbage pile up the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't for me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the giver. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The already promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bold money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like people themselves.
It burn me.
On them treat the market man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
On them treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
On them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't for me again. You can't for me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't for me again. Can't for me again. You can't.
I think Madam can move. Watch it out again. Watch it out. Watch it out. Look at us. Watch it
Good morning, and welcome to Global. It's really Marlene that I'm worried about because we were always hopeful because we know Marlene will be losing her seat. And we were always hopeful that a seat has been saved in the Senate for dear Marlene. But the struggle gets harder. She will have to struggle on. How no do? What an evening yesterday evening. What an evening yesterday evening. I'm not being politically biased. I'm just being a media handle. But what I saw yesterday evening and heard, and I'm not going on substance, I'm going on presentation because I not go trouble the people them budget because I not understand number barring the one where favor get wrong. So I not go trouble the substant part of it. If poor people needs were met, you will have to tell me that if you think poor people needs were catered to in the opposition budget speech. But favor, tell Hody before you start, Panar. Tell the Hody them first before you start pan favor this. Because favor dunce, you know. And when we're saying that favor is dunce, we're not disrespecting the minister. The minister is carte blanche, dunce, right? And if the minister is carte blanche, dunce, may I release your comment, Michelle? TikTok, grab it. TikTok, grab it up. Favor is dunce. Favor is dunce. And when we say favor dunce, we're not disrespecting her. Her reading ability is very, very poor. That rang true. No, you say if you taught the Holy first before you start on the minister. Because the minister dunce. Oh, the minister is dunce. Jesus. The minister dunce. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, real subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning and welcome to your At a Glance program. The morning after favor was floored in the House of Representatives. Even the Mr. Speaker, the order that favor called yesterday evening, she was even confused about the loan Julian was talking about. Help for the helpless, Lord. Help for the helpless, Lord. Real sweet RJ, Don Mel, Colleen Turner, Sharon Bernard, good morning. Jamrock 8766, Violet Watson, Rosemary Samuels, good morning. Good morning. Marcia Stewart, good morning. Althea, good morning. Good morning. Renice Nicholson, Vincent Dinham, Evan Riley, Marcia Gale, who is on TikTok. I know Michelle is here. Michelle Johnson, Joy, K Diva, K Dwight, Orlando. Is it Orlando Collins? Radcliffe Wagwan, bro. Alexis Malachi, I think. Good morning and welcome. Sonia Johnson, good morning. When we say the minister dunce, we clearly mean the minister dunce. It's what came through from the minister's budget. Poor reading skill, poor presentational skill, Miss Williams. Very poor. Opal Watson. You claim so you gave ton amount of giveaways, Peter. I only remember one. Me don't know if you remember any of them. The audience barely remember them. But Marlon Morgan, Cliff Hughes, Malvina, George Davis, Georgina, wants to hold us and hold our heads and tongue to the mess that Favor made in Parliament on Tuesday evening. Are you all not aware by now that it was a terrible mess? You are in the budget, you are in the budget, you are in the budget. Do you all not understand the mess the minister is? Now, the minister went on telly Wednesday morning. Yes, I remember Saturday and Friday. Remember, why did the month just run with itself? So remember, so last week, me forget, say I did Friday. And say Friday come back up and way again. Carlton, Jeanette, Annie, how no do? The minister, after confuse us in Parliament, she went on TV with, but not only to insult the nation, but insult us with bad mathematics. Now, everybody knew that I drop out of school, a basic school. Everybody know that when it comes to counting beyond 10, I have a problem. But the minister told us that the extra $2,000, because she's referring to a giveaway from her budget. So that extra $2,000 that you would end up with a month where you never used to budgeting for, you can put that away. Now, listen to how they put us down. Remember, cost of living is skyrocketed, where a report says 51% of Jamaicans are going to bed without proper nutrition. And if in this hard time, Miss Williams, Jamaicans are being given an extra $2,000, you don't think it would rather go into nutrition or into a hard-pressed area like, even though it's nothing to write home about, Mama wouldn't just rip up the letter or burn the for any of it if you write to Mama and say, Mama, Favor is giving me $2,000 a month and said I must save it when I'm dying for hunger, Miss Williams. But the minister told us, that if we save that £2,000 over a 3-year period, Miss Williams, now with my doubtful mathematics, a period of 3 years is 36 months, Miss Favor. And if you multiply 36 by 2, Miss Favor, it is 72. And you add 30 where you left off of the 2,000. No, so would I go? That's how a dunce would count, Miss Williams. But Miss Williams ended up with $74,000. Prove or point that the minister is not only out of touch, not only out of reality. The minister is barking dunce. Barking. If the minister think to say, 36 times 2 is 74. And before Labour right go talk, is me I trouble the minister. Listen the minister carefully how much 2 times 36 is. Because if you save $2,000 a month, it's $1,200. It's $2,400 for the year. $2,400 by 3, Miss Williams, or by 12 if you want to say so. Whatever you want to work out the math. But you get it wrong. Listen to yourself a favor. And then Cliff Hughes, George Davis, and the rest of them is having hissy fit because people now run around and hail Favor good budget. Where was it? Hmm? Where was it and where did you heard of it that we should go and tell it on the mountain? The truth is, I am partly sorry for Favor because it looks like she have no choice, not even to say no. Hmm? It seems as if the minister have no choice, not even to say no. Because we have seen, I don't know why, oh no, labor rights nasty. Favor is not the fitting person for this job. She's out of depth, out of touch. This job is way beyond Favor's competency. She can't cope. And if she can't cope, the country is going to be hurt by it. If she not understand what she do, imagine when Favor go sit down with a big international player, them to talk about borrow money and interest. When Favor done check, then get more in an interest than what they should get. Because Favor maths always a little bit up than normal.
Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, like a pro box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah, $2,000 a month over 3 years. Minister, you think we can? And you think you can put out on a minister? You think we can? And you think you can put out on a car with that? Yeah, look. And you think you can put out on a car with that? Yeah, look. We can. And you think you can put out on a car with that? We can. And you think you can put out on a car? You think we can? And you think you can put out on a car? Minister, you think we can? And you think you can put out on a car with that? Yeah, look up a pro box. Look up a pro.
$74,000, she says.
3 years, Minister, you think we can? And you think you can put out on a car with that? Yeah, look up a pro box.
What then do you all expect us to think? If the Minister of Finance for our country don't know that saving $2,000 per month over a period of 3 years, which 12 months is 1 year, and 3 years is 36 months, times the $2,000, Favor say it is $74,000. That was simple mathematics. That is something where dunce like Wayne understands. That is not something that the minister should make a mistake or a slip of the tongue on. It shows how poor, how incompetent the minister is at her job, that she can't do simple arithmetic. On the one, if you go around and sell Favor budget, remember, I know the first this government promised public sector workers to solve the pay problem. So I have no confidence that it is going to happen until it's done. I have no confidence that the public sector pay issue will be solved until it's done, because every budget the government promised to deal with it, the government claim to have allocated money for it. Me not say them not go do it. Me I say I'm not going to believe it until it's done. Because every budget you hear the same thing. Every budget, Cornwall Regional drink more money. So Cornwall Regional really get junky and out of money, Cornwall Regional Hospital get really junk on money at the moment. But Dr. Tufton was speaking over nationwide yesterday on the Cuban issue. And I hope This is loud enough for you to hear. Both TikTok and YouTube. Wanna let me know if you don't hear it.
His first national security advisor, Senator Johnson Smith, says General Anderson is expected to take up his post in Washington, D.C. in short order. We're very pleased that Major General Anderson will assume this role at a time when Jamaica looks to strengthen its security partnership. His leadership and expertise will also be critical in advancing Jamaica's wider priorities, fostering deeper collaboration with the United States while engaging strategically with the OAS. He will build on this strong foundation laid by Ambassador Audrey Marks, whose service has been instrumental in advancing our bilateral agenda. Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, a Foreign Affairs Minister.
Listen to the question posed to
Health and
Dr.
Wellness
Tufton
Minister
coming up.
Dr. Christopher Tufton says he sees no immediate danger to the U.S. visas held by government ministers arising from the Trump administration's stance on Cuba's medical missions program. The U.S. government says it will apply visa restrictions to Cuban and foreign officials believed to be encouraging the Cuban labor export program. The U.S. says the policy will particularly focus on Cuba's overseas medical missions. Dr. Tufton says discussions are being held on the implications of the policy for the approximately 400 Cuban nationals working in Jamaican hospitals.
I don't believe in this kind of assumption. What you're doing is you damage a conversation and a negotiation by extrapolating on extremities. I don't think it's a healthy part of a dialogue. I think that we avoid those kind of conclusions and focus on the discussion. So when that bridge presents itself, we will cross it one way or the other. A lot of the decisions that we make around these things clearly, well, all the critical decisions are made by a cabinet led by the Honorable Prime Minister. So I would never venture to try and make these conclusions on my own because clearly it's not up to me alone. I have a lot of confidence in the executive arm of government, so that's a decision that we take collectively. But as of now, I'm not there, and I don't see any evidence to suggest that we will get there.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness, the U.S. State Department.
Firstly, Dr. Tufton's concern was that he don't see the possibility of their visa, of a threat to their visa at the moment. But if you notice, secondly, what Dr. Tufton is concerned about, that probably in media land, we are taking the conversation out of context or too far down the road where it isn't yet. I wonder if he's just speaking to us, or he is rather speaking to other Caribbean leaders who have made their pronouncement on the issue as to if President Trump, because as Mayor Motley say, if we cannot find an amicable resolution, it's not her exact word, but I'm using that, then she has no problem giving up her visa. Now, Dr. Tufton is wanting to say that, make him talk the word again, because you see these people, that's why I tell you, Jamaica, we lack leadership. This is our great problem at the moment. We lack leadership. Because what Dr. Tufton concerned about is their visa, not our health.
Says the proposed visa restrictions will hold Cuban and foreign officials accountable for profiting from the forced labor of their workers. But the policy has come under fire from several Caribbean leaders. Barbados to the U.S. The prime ministers of Antigua and Barbuda and the Bahamas have also now to the details.
I want to find back.
His first national security advisor, Senator Johnson Smith, says General Anderson is expected to take up his post in Washington, D.C. in short order. We are very pleased that Major General Anderson will assume this role at a time when Jamaica looks to strengthen its security partnership. His leadership and expertise will also be critical in advancing Jamaica's wider priorities, fostering deeper collaboration with the United States while engaging strategically with the OAS. He will build on this strong foundation laid by Ambassador Audrey Marks, whose service has been instrumental in advancing our bilateral agenda. Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, a Foreign Affairs Minister. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says he sees no immediate danger to the U.S. visas held by government ministers arising from the Trump administration stand.
First thing he's concerned about, he sees no immediate risk to their visas. Not that Dr. Tufton doesn't see any immediate risk to the health of the Jamaican people should President Trump force countries to make that decision. He's not really concerned about the health of the people. He's concerned about their visa. Let him continue explaining himself.
Administration stance on Cuba's medical missions program. The U.S. government says it will apply visa restrictions to Cuban and foreign officials believed to be encouraging the Cuban labor export program.
Yes, Jamaican for progress. I have been paid. This is the problem. You can't have a conversation. Favor lost the first leg of the debate. And now, because Julian come out here compare with it tell lie. If PMP pay me for tell lie, so be it. Me not afraid for tell lie if me get paid for it. Liars do that motherfuck every day. All right? So if me get paid, me I do my job. Marlon get paid for tell lie, Marlon a doing job. Move the fuck on. All right? Good morning, Jamaican for progress. Enough deal with an internal nonsense
program. The U.S. says
yes,
the policy will particularly focus on Cuba's overseas medical missions. Dr. Tufton says discussions are being held on the implications of the policy for the approximately 400 Cuban nationals working in Jamaican hospitals.
I don't believe in this kind of assumption. What you're doing is you damage a conversation and a negotiation by extrapolating.
Firstly, it's an assumption. It's not what Donald Trump says. It's not what Marco Rubio says. It's an assumption. We are assuming that it's going to happen. Not that that is the foreign policy of the United States at the moment. Not that it's not the foreign policy of the United States. It's an assumption. And when we take the conversation into that direction, making talk.
Start extrapolating on extremities. I don't think it's a healthy pattern.
We're extrapolating on the extremities. What are the extremities Dr. Tufton is talking about? The extremities is whether they will have to give up their visa or health. But as you can hear from Dr. Tufton at the moment, our health is not Dr. Tufton's concern. It is more their visas. Talk, doctor, talk.
Dialogue. I think that we avoid those kind of conclusions and focus on the discussion. So when that bridge presents itself, we will cross it one way or the other. A lot of the decisions that we make around these things.
So what Dr. Tufton is alluding to here is that, bruha, all these Caribbean countries you see jumping in front, they're just some media bullshit narrative hoax. Nothing that they should be running and speaking about at the moment. So it looked like America whispering at Jamaica ears and tell Jamaica something when America not tell the rest of the Caribbean. Based on how Dr. Tufton are gone, like, oh, your lot are taking it out of proportion. It's not quite like that, said the doctor. You're all just balmy about the thing. It's their visa. It's really not our health. Mad labor rights, mad. Uno go and go learn to read. If uno go learn to read labor rights and learn to count, uno then stop getting at the upper problem when I getting out in the mouth on social media or in a parliamentary, in a public. Go and pick up a book, labor rights. Go and pick up a book. Every day uno come and uno make Andrew and Favor feel, you know. Let me tell you something, Jamaica Labour Party supporters. And uno make the party feel, because there's a thing called constructive criticism. What uno can't deal with, uno can't accept. Uno prefer to protect Andrew and Favor to the death. Look how we uno there as a party now. It was the very reason why you all was out of government for 18 consecutive years. Because uno dunce. Uno go around telling people say them bad man. Uno go around running up under people's mother's frock. Uno go around deciding who get paid or not. When it was the JLP conference with the envelope top of envelope issue out for come a conference. What if people pay me to talk? Lawyers go to school to get paid to talk. So if me get paid for talk, make me talk. All right? Damn fools. Go on, your doctor.
Make around these things clearly. Well, all the critical decisions are made by a cabinet led by the Honorable Prime Minister. So I would never venture to try and make these conclusions on my own, because clearly it's not up to me alone. I have a lot of confidence in the executive arm of government, so that's a decision that we take collectively. But as of now, I'm not there, and I don't see any evidence to suggest that we will get there.
Dr. Christopher Tufton, Minister of Health and Wellness. The U.S. State Department.
Dr. Tufton is just saying Donald Trump is gaslighting us. Because Dr. Tufton is saying, I don't see any evidence that we will get there. That means Dr. Tufton is gaslighting us. Or is it Trump and Marco Rubio that is gaslighting us? Well, somebody a gaslight we, you know. Ladybug, welcome. You need to watch back Julian's presentation. Favor was mullered over yesterday. As we would say in Britain, she got a proper hiding. It was disastrous. The minister only stand once when Julian spoke about loan to order Mr. Speaker, not the order Mr. Speaker, point of order Mr. Speaker. But her point of order, which was about a minute, was as confused as the 2 hours and so of budget that she presented, because she did not know what she called point of order on. I will send you the link in your DM when I'm done, Ratcliffe. But Favor got whooped yesterday. Julian budget was quite explained, even though I don't understand numbers and all of them something there. He break down how they would do certain things, whereas Favor budget for me didn't have great explanation. Of course, she said certain things about some are 21 giveaway them, even though I can only remember one. But there wasn't great explanation coming from Favor, no great confidence, no great presentation. There's a terribly lack of reading. And we later find out that she can't count simple mathematics. It is not good for the country. If you have a minister of finance that tells you that 36 times 2 equals 74, That is not something that a minister should make a mistake on. She shouldn't. She's a spender for the country. Sexy Karen, how are you? Jackie, she's a regulator for with finances. She spend with tax. And you mean to say she go up on national TV, got tax 36 times 2 is 74? I don't think we should go around and celebrate her because she's a woman. Yvonne Wilson. We must celebrate her because she's the first woman of this galangen. No. We don't put people there to pamper them. We actually pay you a lot handsome, even though on the whole we don't put on the foot pan when they can take the money from we put in our pocket. And then the bitter, sad part of it, on the one we feel Hail Mary to when on barely do what we pay on for do. Work it out for we know. Because everything we feel run. Come here, Andrew. You don't like favor to but you use violence and anger to push for your dunceness. But then again, if it's a dunce leading the pack, you're not going to get much better from them. No, there was an attempt to play politics yesterday because them turn on the advert on PBCJ, but when the sister people weren't happy about it, they quickly turned it off. Andrew Holness went on to play politics. If you notice, most of them wasn't in Parliament on yesterday for Julian's presentation. What the Prime Minister did after the budget presentation, because him realized the favor presentation is so poorly fucked up, the Prime Minister decided, well, I'm going to play politics. Nobody is going to talk about Julian's budget tomorrow morning. There is something in it to talk about, Prime Minister. Even if there wasn't substance, the presentation sells it. And that's what Favor didn't have. What did the Prime Minister do? The Prime Minister made two big announcements. Blue Harbor Daisy Law. Audrey's coming home to the Senate. And Gugu Gaga is going to Washington. F you, Prime Minister. We won't say more about that until another day because this is politics. We will not engage with it. We want to talk about the country's spending, Prime Minister. Up your arsenal with your politics. Because we know why you release it. This because you want it to be a big story. It flopped. We're talking about the budget, Prime Minister. PNP told us what they're going to do for our children who are suffering from nutrition in school. They're aiming to start with make sure that all of them have lunch. And they're working their way to making sure if they get to government, they'll also have breakfast. Things like that we never hear. The little cheap giveaway. We want to think to say $2,000 or $20,000 is enough to draw sensible people along behind. Not everybody $5,000 like labor rights. I know me, so. It was said by J.C. Hutchinson. So no don't come jump on me now. And go say, me I walk and tell. J.C. Hutchinson said, all it takes, labor right, is a box food and $5,000. That's how cheap you all are. That's why when people talk the truth in the field, say, pay we get. That's why when people speak the truth, uno thing say, a pay we get, because uno get lead by uno belly. And $5,000 one can't go to supermarket with. You can't go to the supermarket with $5,000. If we're not so cheap, we don't expect you to stand up for anything labor rights. Stop running around social media, going up on the people's mother's skirt. It is not working. In our work, we're more sensible than that and not catering to your ego. But what I'm saying to you all, draw yourself out of the gutter. Jesus Christ, draw it up. Come up out of the gutter, man. Can't just stand down the sun and then invite we to follow on God. What can go so? Leadership. The Cuban issue is showing us clearly that our country lacks leadership. Our leaders have no balls. Our leaders are petulant kids who care more about their toy than a plate of food. Because what Tufton just told us, I am waiting until it gets to the extreme before we make a decision. We, the people, don't know what that decision will be based on at the moment because they're worried about their visa and not about our health. When I see the danger ahead of us with our leader flip-flopping on the issue where if they go the American route, we're going to lose 400 healthcare workers from Cuba. I wonder how much land the government will provide for cemetery when the government takes that decision. How much land if Andrew Holness goes along with the Americans? How much land if the Prime Minister is forced to send home because they don't want to talk, So we don't know what decision them. We know where Mia Mackley is going. We know where Ralph Gonzalez is going. We know where Trinidad and Tobago, Keith, what's it or rather he's called. We know where they're going. The problem is Tufton is waiting until the gunfire to tell us to duck. Tufton said we're taking it out of proportion now. We're looking at the extreme, said the minister. Why don't you look at the economic saber rattling rather than looking at the extreme? I mean, when the US too friendly for them tap with and come there. Because a lot of our politicians will lose a lot. Because hope of them live a foreign and work at Jamaica. Two because they say, holy of them live a foreign and work at Jamaica. It's a hard decision for the Jamaica Labour Party to make. Minister, you're not toxic. Minister, you're not toxic. You're not cry foul, minister. I mean, Dr. Windell Abler, Dr. Sophia Langmore can stitch you up if you want, and for you get out of the brouhaha. Does she have a second in the ministry? Oh, God. Minister, it's tiring. Because we want to help the minister, you see. Herline Brown, morning. We want to help the minister. It now go down good, Remember when, But one thing we can say, Favor have more balls than Andrew, you know. Favor have more balls than Andrew Holness. And I'm going to explain it for you. Yesterday, Julian gave it to Favor. I mean, give it to her. If he turn left, Julian whap him. If he turn right, Julian whap him. He gave it to her yesterday. And she stood there and she took it, as they would say. She took it like a man or whatever. But you remember last year, 800 Cuban workers in the healthcare, so it will be a massacre. You remember last year, budget presentation, when Mark Golden pick up him stick and him start going at Andrew, Andrew get up and Andrew run, did he not? So Favor show say she have more balls than Andrew Holness. Favor Williams, because the answer she got from Julian yesterday, because nobody not come out Tuesday evening other than Cliff Hughes and so on having any great understanding of Favor's budget. Even if there weren't substance in Julian's budget, the presentation of it and the explanation of it came through, which the minister left us confused, one must admit. Me still don't remember further than the JPS money will work up to how much? $24,000? Yeah. The $24,000 JPS prepaid galang in for the 20,000, for the first 20,000 people. That one that stand out clear for me. Me don't know the one when they go attack about the pro box money. I don't know which one of the giveaway that coming. So me know say it was one of her giveaway she was talking about. Don't know which one I hit it coming because I only can remember one. Did you hear when Julian said to Edmund, "I'm glad you're here today"? Yeah, I heard him. I'm glad you're here today because you live abroad and work in Jamaica. And it's not just Edmund Bartlett. A lot of our politicians live in Florida. And they can pay them money where they can pay if you fly down a morning time on them first flight and fly up back at evening time on whatever flight. I mean, you get to Miami before you get to Montego Bay. If both of you going from Kingston, you get to Miami by air before you get to Montego Bay upon road. So a lot of them actually. Yes, upon Diane Jackson, she talked about the pro box, Catherine, but it was an explanation about something from her budget. I don't remember from her budget. I go give you that extra $2,000 a month time when say you know for use because you never do a pencil hit in your budget. So even though y'all go to bed hungry at night time, instead go on hungry same way and put that 2,000 and not a week, you know, people, a month, you know, $500 a week, minister. They put the $500 a week aside, minister will work out to 74,000 can to you over 3 years. Because when they say 2,000 a month, it was so enough. Make we whittle it down to $500 a week. The minister said we save $500 a week, and in 3 years, we can pay down 74,000 pan a pro box. As she said, 74,000, you know. Not me Don't as me did not say 72,000. The minister though, the Minister of Finance, Labour Rights, don't know that. And don't feel quarrel with we. Go and talk to the minister and the government, say, look good outer road. You understand? Rather than come and try fight with people every day when you can't win, because why you can't win? You're not having a debate. You're not having a cast and a get down to the ground and roll, which a lot of us is not really into. We can have heated conversation with you. What we don't have to do is to mix up the wet hog shit and the old feed and the mud and rub in it. Jamaica Labour Party pig pen. We don't have to do that all the while. People emotion flare in political charged conversation. Don't mean that our mother's skirt must always get involved. Jamaica Labour Party. Jesus Christ. We're tired of now. Just that we're not learning and not do better. We're tired of now.
Let's call it $2,000 a month. If you faithfully put away that $2,000 because it's something that you were not getting before, 3 years, you'll have a tidy sum that you could put down on a car, like a Pro Box that you have to drive to go to work, and you don't have to stand up in the sun or think about rain to get a vehicle to drive. So yeah,
$2,000 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put out on a car with that?
Yeah, like a Pro Box. You get a nice
$20 a month over 3 years, Minister. You think you can put out on a car with that?
Yeah, like a Pro Box. You get a nice
Pro Box.
little car.
She said $74,000. Not me. It wasn't me that's saying $2,000 a month for over 3 years is $74,000. I never miss it so. The minister go on national TV. It wasn't a voice note she sent to somebody. And somebody sent out and said, look at the backside. I'll count, she can't count, When we did a bite up with Seth, so the minister is a horrible reader. We never even know say she was her when it come to counting. We never know say it was her when it come to counting. And then we sit down with confidence and think say spending wise, Favor is going to steer our country in the right direction. Are you all drinking rhinoceros piss? How will we accept that? No, this is the problem with Andrew Holness and the current fleet of the Jamaica Labour Party. It is waffled with dunce and incompetent people. No other government, except for when Siaga did that election in 1983, which Michael Manley did not contest, had that elected majority in Parliament. You notice it's always difficult for the Prime Minister to spin around people. You notice the Prime Minister only have a few people around him which he think have the competence to do certain job within government. If the Prime Minister never knows him choose a pack of dunce, when the Prime Minister have so much to choose from, the Prime Minister have so much failure in his cabinet, which he cannot replace because he's going to replace them with another failure. Favor is a perfect example. Nigel Clark was a failure, even though he could pull the failure off to some degree. But when you replace Nigel Clark with Favor Williams, a failure replaced by a grand old failure replaces a failure. no, sister, no, not get it right. Favor is just not the right person for the job. What is sad though, in such a large government, Andrew cannot find a competent economist or financier who understands the economy. Because normally economists, good leaders, choose top economists to be your minister of finance. It is normally economists or those top bankers that you choose as your minister of finance. That tells you how incompetent the people around Andrew Holness are, because he cannot shuffle them. Horace Chang is a grand old failure. The research suggests 90% of the Jamaican people do not have confidence in Dr. Chang. He would not have survived his job anywhere else in the world, barring a dictatorship with loyalty to the leader, Prime Minister. But not in a democracy, certainly not. Not in what we call a democracy. Horace Chang wouldn't have lost, because 90% of the people have no confidence. Hold on, the sun gone now, so you have to go turn on the lights. All this time, I day on the van, I never turn on lights because the sun was so bright and pretty outside. But as England do, in gain on one hand, and then take it back in the other. So look at how you see the sun bright and pretty out there, don't make you fool you. Him just a fool you and say, come out here and make me do you something. And sometimes it fool where make we go out there with less clothes, you know. And when you say, all right, so you take the bait, then him turn the thing up. So, and him there fool me all along. But Andrew Holness and his team, Sisse, them they're way behind when it come to the election. Regardless of what you hear polls and all that I say, I'm not one to really always hinge upon polls, because sometimes them right, sometimes them wrong. Sometimes they're a long shot in the dark. What is readable is both parties moving around the country and having these constituents and divisional conference. Debbie Jervis, Wagwan. That is what I'm measuring at the moment. And that is what is causing a lot of rumble for the Jamaica Labour Party, because they can see clearly that their base is not activated for a general election looming. And rather than them seek unity amongst themselves, they think that going around attacking, whether be people who are PNP vlogger or people like me who are social justice vlogger, they lump everybody together. Once you're now fall prostrate before Andrew Holness and his bullcrap, then automatically you are PNP. The PNP them do the same. When you not play the game, automatically you are Labour right, are you confused? However, everybody knows that me not go play no game, because wait till Mark Golden come and the good governance when promised with. Because remember, Andrew Holness tricked us as well and promised we a whole lot to do for and fangle dangle to date. Remember his 100-day policy. We will start legislative proceedings for impeachment, dual reachment, 9 years on. Ketep. Zilch. So I'm not one that line up behind political promises. That's why I don't really set my heart on manifesto I will vote for you if your manifesto have policy which I prefer, I think is workable. But I don't judge your based on it because it is widely proven internationally that government many of the times deviate from the manifesto, especially in the position where we are in, where IMF and them people, they enforce policy upon us. Leadership, though, leadership is one of the biggest things that is lacking in this government. Integrity is on the top scale of lacking in this government. Leave PJ Patterson for a while because, you know, he was a horrible old thieving old git. PJ who mash up the Michael Manley push where PJ shouldn't carry on. Never mind that. Sunshine, how you do? Portia Simpson, as a woman, took some of the hardest political and social battering in this country, from both in the House of Parliament to the general public. But the way how you see Andrew Holness get worked up when he's criticized, I've never seen Portia Simpson display that behavior in public as a woman, where people say, woman emotional and them weak fence. Never have I seen Portia Simpson get asked a question and get worked up and angry like this Prime Minister. Look at the time the Prime Minister go sign over social housing. It's a riot, Maya Brown. It's a riot. This Prime Minister cannot take criticism. And if you have a Prime Minister cannot take criticism, it's not a good enough person to lead the country. I must say the Labour right them over here this morning on YouTube, because 200 and down and not even 100 and down, like they hit the like button. Boy, on not turn bad or not just like the problem a man in time. We're not going to get into the problem with them this morning. Favor and Andrew are cost enough already. So me not going to get in a hit with them, because I'm worried about my country when there are big decisions to make in my country and there's no leader to do it. That is my biggest worry at the moment, because our country don't have leadership. We have fallen short, so short on leadership. Me don't know where or how, or me not freeze, or how we are going to get out of what we in. But you see, if Jamaica people choose them and want to choose them, live with them.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica, ball out. Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out from Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
No. You see, Andrew Holness, if he had intention to do good, his legislative majority gave him the power to do that since 2020 general election. What the Prime Minister has done is use that power since 2020 to overhaul the legislative procedure where the Prime Minister goes to bed, put legislation through Parliament, both houses of Parliament, within a 24-hour period and have it become law, an abuse of the constitutional and legislative process. That's how this Prime Minister has widely used the powers, the legislative power given to him since 2020. It was a consequence of the 2020 general election why the Prime Minister destructed the office of the political ombudsman after Michelle Charles was disciplined for corruption in that election campaign of 2020 up to August rather. When Donna Parchment Brown first tenure, because they usually do 2 tenure, when Donna Parchment Brown tenure came to an end in, was it November 2022 or was it November 2023? It was one of them. I don't remember quite clearly at the moment. But it was November either 2022 or 2023, Donna Parchment Brown tenure came to an end, which the Prime Minister should have, could have, and usually in that case, reappoint them for another term. Or if he does, if he's not comfortable going ahead with Donna Parchment Brown, then appoint a new ombudsman to the position. The Prime Minister also, with that power, whittle his way out of having the local government election. When the Prime Minister was forced to have general election in February of last year because he couldn't strong arm and twist and turn and extend it anymore, the Prime Minister was then forced to have the local government election. And by that, he would have to reinvoke the ombudsman office. What the Prime Minister does is went to the Parliament in the dead of night with a legislation to subsume the, the office of the political ombudsman into the Electoral Commission, which was already in the Prime Minister's office, something that must not have happened, because in a democracy, government do not take control of independent bodies that regulate processes of government or of the constitutional process, such as our voting, or the ombudsman would investigate certain complaint of certain things and all that jazz, and do investigation of our politicians and all of that whole thing. So what the Prime Minister does, it has taken 2 independent bodies, squash them together. Now, one, the Electoral Commission responsibility is to regulate and adjudicate our election galangin, while the office of the political ombudsman is like the police for politicians and public officials. The Prime Minister has taken those 2 independent bodies that are there to hold government to account and take it and put it under his bosom. These are the way how Andrew Holness have used his majority in Parliament over us, which is a dangerous sign. The Jamaica Labour Party does not see that, but when PNP come and if PNP do it, I'm sure they will see it. But it is very dangerous when the government controls the accountability agencies that hold the very same government to account. Only Andrew Holness make these things up and make them reality. Just like in the Westminster politics, never mind that his wife should never be an MP in the start. Never mind his wife should not be head of the legislature nor in the same cabinet with the Prime Minister. Never mind that. Never mind the whole of that. These things are just normal. But what the Prime Minister went on to do is he has done something that is not usually done in Westminster democracy. By using his wife or other members of his cabinet to lead committees of Parliament is wholly, I would even call it unconstitutional. I would call it unconstitutional. You know why? Because the committees are there to hold the government to account, to hold the legislative process to account. How then can the cabinet, under a principle that is known as ministerial responsibility, you cannot, once you're a part of the government, speak against the government, but you're chairing a committee that holds the government to account. It's bullshit, Jamaica, that Andrew Holness is doing with Orgalangin. Roxanne, or Russian, how will you be, man or woman? Because if you're a woman, I'm interested in your boyfriend, but if you're a man, I'm not interested in you. Sorry. So you can go on, all right? The Prime Minister is using his wife to block accountability, because by placing your wife head of committees, head of the legislative process, head of constituency development fund, chair for the finance standing committee. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. You're not tired? No, Jamaica, talk truth. You're not effing tired. Me tired, I don't know about you. But me tired. You know me would ever broke black Russian. Me I'll stop black labor right, believe you me. Because blacking them no make no sense. Might as well make them listen and one day God will help them to learn. Me stop black them long time. Because me know say blacking is not the solution. Teaching them, continue to teach them, might help us to get somewhere. Jesus Christ, them thick. Me sorry for labor rights. Because them can't say pass Andrew Holness zip. Them can't see past Andrew Holness zip or nose. Dear Jesus, have mercy upon them. Somebody can't done so. We're talking about what the situation is and ought to be. What I have just explained to you is no analysis story. Andrew have gone against many democratic principles, or what you hear they call the Westminster democracy. Andrew have gone against a whole lot of those things since him coming a government. We know that. The fact that on labor rights not educated enough to understand it, what we are hoping that you will catch up with us one day. On are coming up, but on are lagging so far behind. It is the reason why one cannot come with any collected or conscious argument. It's all about people's sexuality or under their mother's skirt. Thank you for keeping our company. Because one can't left with page, you know. Because one will learn. there's a resistance still. I know that Uno resist. And I guarantee you, when Andrew Holness is removed as the leader, I want to get somebody who have skin. There may be a change in the party because leadership matters. The Prime Minister is leading you all blindly. The Prime Minister is leading you all with anger. And this is what you all emulate. So after the general election, and I'm going to play, I have a video of Nestor Morgan, but I'm not going to play it until the morning after the general election, because he has declared that how crowd will be on the street election night when Moko is declared for the Jamaica Labour Party. I will not play that video, Nestor Morgan, until the morning after election. It out there in the public, but me not play it until the morning after election. Andrew Holness got to go. If JLP now go, Andrew Holness must go. He is the biggest problem in the Jamaica Labour Party right at this moment. He is the biggest problem, because even if Ono would have to change course and direction to do something better, the bully that leads on a party does not provide leadership. He's not an honest or decent man. The Prime Minister is not an honest or decent man. The Prime Minister lacks integrity. The Prime Minister lacks honesty. The Prime Minister is unable to tell the nation where he got his ill-gotten wealth from. Not me say it. It's all in the Integrity Commission report. Labour has it that Justice Pantan just pick up here and write in, they not know go so. The Prime Minister is not disputing that though, is he? All the Prime Minister is disputing is the process of the Integrity Commission. He's not disputing the evidence, is he? Everybody, Integrity Commission, every social justice blogger, the RGR and Gleaner group, as long as we don't fall prostrate to Andrew Holness, we are PNP. Let me tell you something, Labour rights. I was always a Labour right from birth until we start read. When I got to university in 2014, I realized this bullshit of capitalism was not a thing that involved poor people, was not a thing that involved we on a downward scale of the ladder. And I have jumped off the ship when Andrew came on and start issue out green bond. That time they say, I should have not. It was then I start researching Michael Manley and see that a lot of things the Americans said about Michael Manley was a fucking lie. It was. The Americans have never gone after a leader that is doing horrible in their country. Never. Go in history and look. The Americans only come after you if your economy is doing well and you have resources and you wish not to bow to this capitalist agenda. Go and check if it's not true. I realize I was supporting capitalism that does not support poor people. I am willing to support the socialist agenda, not the current one where PNP are run now, probably the Michael Manley one, not the socialist policy now, because PNP have lost their socialist agenda from PJ takeover and them start go the capitalist route. But it's what we really need to go. We need a socialist policy to take we out of the bullshit that we have been left into. You may not understand it. Why you not think the Americans and the British for them whole life, they keep going on about, oh, communism, oh, Marxism, oh, communism, oh, Marxism, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. How has China managed to lift so much people out of poverty if communism was so bad? And this great old capitalist democracy have not done it? Ask yourself the question. Ask yourself the question. Cuba, under 70 years of sanction and embargo, has managed to train more nurses, doctors, teachers, and a literate population than Jamaica. How much years of democracy, and we are graduating more failures in Jamaica than we are graduating to the university. And you want to tell me that capitalism and democracy works? You may want to reassess it, but that is my opinion, not what I'm asking you to follow. Maybe you want to go and pick up a book as well, and you might just start learning. Thank you all very much for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. Even the disgruntled laborites on TikTok. I wish you could all listen and learn more rather than get up into your petulant, narcissistic anger behavior and then going around swirling your mouth like the pigsty that it is. Hopefully, members of the Jamaica Labour Party, you can all one day do better. I'm not saying don't hold on to your party, but what you can do is represent your party so we can think and say, I'm going to pay more attention to that. But I mean, I don't hear any of you from the Jamaica Labour Party in the social space supporting the party is really making arguments. You're all going under our mother's skirt. You're all going up into our prostate and or this and or that. I mean, come with an argument, please. We are willing to conversate with you. Come with an argument. Thank you very much for being here this morning on the Global Television Group. Lovely to have your support. I'm not sure we're going to come back for Drive Time London because I need to go on the street. But certainly tonight we will come back with the people's point of view. And of course, we will do a bit of our Friday night geopoliticking because, you know, the geopolitics has been thrown all over the place now that Trump is having his economic saber rattling and his blind drive to destroy the American economy, because America can only suffer from the tariff that they heap upon the world. Trump don't understand it. Many Americans don't understand it, but it was one of my subjects at school. Here we studied tariff and levies. Maybe Trump need to ask a few advice from one or two. Let me tell you something, Labour, right? Me can't dance like you but the truth is, I'm not as dunce as I appear. I know that I can be dunce sometime and appear dunce at times, but I'm not always dunce. Okay? See you all later.
Whoa, yo. We need help, Jesus. Jamaica need help. Shift the parliament. Shift the election. Shift everything. Remove them out there. Take out the cockroach. Take out the thief. Take out the criminal them. Take out the thief them. Take out the murderer them. Take out the gang leader them. Out of parliament. Take them out. From Portland. Take them out. I hear Portland. Me I go to Portland. Why me I travel to Portland? Take out somebody, man or woman.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.